Welcome to Corks, Chords, and Conversations. I'm your host, Mark Rowland. Today I have my friend and fellow pilgrim on the wine journey, Steve Meharg. Steve is a licensed psychologist by day, and he has been a wine enthusiast for over 30 years. He engages in touring, education, and formal tastings. He holds certifications through the Society of Wine Educators, and he's completed special certification in Italian wines. Steve started M-Vinology, which was established to recognize his interest, helping people appreciate and experience wine in new and enriching ways. Welcome, Steve. This is an interesting topic, wine clubs. A lot of people have questions about them, whether they should join, if they do join, how they can get out. What are the benefits? So could you give me a general idea of what you think about wine clubs?
And it often comes up about wine clubs, whether it's a good idea to join, a bad idea to join, which wineries are worth joining and not. And so this is a common issue for a lot of consumers. The truth is that wine clubs actually make sense in a lot of ways, both for the wineries and for customers. From the winery standpoint, it offers a predictable income, a little shot of revenue throughout the year to purchase, pay off your grapes and to buy new equipment and new barrels that you need. It also provides a loyal customer base of folks that are basically saying, I like your wine, I like the vibe and the experience that I get when I come here, and I want to be part of what you're doing. So it makes a lot of sense for wineries to have clubs. It also makes really good sense for the consumer because there's a variety of benefits that most wine clubs offer. In any combination, they could be discounts on bottles when you buy them. It could be discounted or perhaps waived tasting fees when you stop by and visit. Certainly it allows some access to some exclusive wines that may not be readily accessible to the general public. And also it offers opportunity to experience special release parties and other events throughout the year that can be very fun to attend. These are all great reasons to join a wine club.
Sounds like it's kind of a win-win situation for everyone. But are there reasons why people shouldn't join a wine club, or some of the negative things about a wine club?
You know, absolutely I can. There's also some balancing act that needs to be done when considering joining the pros and cons, I suppose, of a wine club. There are a variety of cons that you have to consider. For example, wineries that are very distant from you really create challenges in getting your full benefits of membership. First of all, the money you spend just getting to the winery can quickly offset, any discounts you might be getting. And it's obviously going to be a real challenge to be able to participate in some of the events and release parties that they may have to offer if you're living a long way away. On the other hand, I do have to admit that if you find the wines just so delicious you can't possibly live without them, it might be worth joining a wine club that's far away because you just have to have that juice in your cellar. So there's no question that does happen, and I've tasted some of those wines. Second of all, if you're like me, I like to visit a lot of wineries. All right, I like to explore wine. That's part of my passion for wine, to explore different wines and how different people make wines. And when I'm at a winery, it's not unusual for me to pick up a bottle or two. Now, obviously, if you join every wine club that you visit, you're going to quickly have way more wines than you know what to do with or can reasonably drink. I tend to encourage folks to consider wine clubs, but also to be very selective and perhaps even set a limit on the number of clubs that you're a member with at any one time. It's important to remember that it's okay to visit a winery, to love the experience, and to also pay full retail for that experience and not necessarily be always seeking the discount. You know what? If you love the wines, you love the people, you love the winery, you're going to find your way back. And joining a wine club can make a lot better sense later on. Although a third reason is that, and tends to be truer for larger wineries, you're not always sure you're getting the best quality wines in your wine club shipment. To be honest with you, some of those wineries may be actually trying to shed inventory. and use their wine club for that purpose. So it's important to understand what wines you're getting, why you're getting them, and making sure that they're the ones that you really want. That's what creates value in your membership. A fourth reason might actually be that wine clubs can sometimes not necessarily be easy to get out of. All right. So before signing up in a club, it's important to also review the opt-out process to make sure that it's not too onerous and that it offers you a kind of an escape plan at some point in the future if you need to. The truth is that our research in consumer wine clubs suggests that the average wine club membership lasts about a year and a half, about 18 months or so. And for people that end up opting out of wine clubs, if you ask them, well, why did you get rid of your wine club? They'll most often say it's not because they didn't enjoy the wines, that's why they signed up to begin with, but they really could not take advantage of the experiences that wine club had to offer. So it's very important to understand that it goes well beyond just the wine itself. There's lots of good wine out there, but having the experience and the attachment to the people of the winery is what makes wine clubs beneficial over the long period.
This is really good stuff, Steve. Thanks for what you're telling us. I think it will benefit all the listeners out there. Now, you have to forgive me for this question, but you are a member of the Roland Wines Wine Club. I would be curious to know why you joined and what you get out of it.
As you remember, of course, you and, of course, Nancy are distinguished educators, now retired, enviously. And my wife is an educator as well. And I recall vividly, and of course, my wife and I were already heavily involved in the local wine kind of scene and tasting and education process. But I had not met you, and I was not aware of Roland Wines. And I remember that my wife, as lovely as she is and was at that time, set up a meeting to where because she knew Nancy, of course, from teaching, and said, you know what, you got to come up and meet these people. And I know that Mark and Nancy are actually working on making some wine. And I said, well, that's interesting enough. I'm in. And so we came up to your house and enjoyed a very pleasant experience with the both of you. And I realized right away, number one is you're very passionate about your winemaking. And number two is you and Nancy have always been highly committed to hospitality and friendship. And I knew right away that's something I wanted to be involved in. So there was no question at the time that, yep, I'm in fully. In fact, I remember distinctly, you were the first guy I hugged in a long time after meeting them for the first time, which is very rare, but really exhibited my attachment and and the emotions that I had the first time of our visit, and realizing what you were hoping to do and my intention to be behind that. So I was, again, all in from the beginning and have been ever since. Now you ask me, so what are some good reasons to join a wine club? Yes. Well, let me tell you what I think that are the best reasons to join a wine club. First of all, you love the wine, and you can take full advantage of the full range of experiences and opportunities and benefits that a wine club membership has to offer. Number two is, I think that the wines aren't readily available at your grocery store or even your local wine store. So therefore, these are wines that are exclusive to that winery, and you're not going to find them in other places. So again, you better take advantage of that opportunity while you have it. But honestly, the most important reason to join a wine club is that you are investing in wineries within your community, and of course the families that they're trying to support in the process, to help them continue to make great wine, and to offer social, educational, and even culinary experiences that you're excited about. And in doing so, you're increasing the quality of life in your community. Those are all great reasons to join a wine club, especially the local ones around you. And I think we can agree that Roland Wines checks all those boxes beautifully.
You have been listening to Corks, Chords, and Conversations. I'm your host, Mark Roland. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time.